What's up, everybody? This is the Rabid Hedgehog in the middle of a desolate parking lot and field here. Well, anyway, I'm actually here for Indian of Oklahoma City, but unfortunately I caught something in the wild that was just a little bit wrong, and unfortunately, man, we got to protect everybody. This is a not safe for work video because I caught a goldwing completely naked. Look at it. What the heck, man? Why are you not wearing clothes? Just kidding, everybody. This is the Honda Valkyrie, a motorcycle that is not really seen anymore. It's actually a really, really cool motorcycle. It is the same 1800cc flat six that comes out of the Goldwing. This is considered a power cruiser. I mean, look at this thing. It is still the 5-speed transmission. Big old wide thing. Look at that. Massive beast, shaft drive, just like its Goldwing brother. Absolutely gorgeous looking motorcycle. Love the way they do the radiator exposing there, the air inlets and everything near the headlight. I mean, this is a fantastic looking machine. It's kind of like a cross between a Goldwing and a VFR. But my gosh, is it pretty. Look at that thing. Let's go ahead and climb up here real fast. And we will find ourselves Honda Rebel switchgear. The heck? Not even kidding. My Rebel 500 has the same kill switch, the same hazard switch, the same start switch, this same flash to pass when you press it down. Of course, hold for your bright, horn, turn signals, not self-counseling. Then you have yourself here this lovely digital gauge readout. Now on the bottom you have your turn signals left and right, service engine, coolant warning, oil warning, your brights of course being on neutral selection. Up here you have your trip A, trip B, and your total mileage. This bike has only seen 350 miles. What a low mileage motorcycle. So ignore this sacrilegious thing down here that says Shawnee Honda Polaris. This is actually Indian of Oklahoma City used bike review. So we will ignore that. We'll go for the American flag there. What a way to celebrate patriotism. Alrighty. Riding a giant Japanese bike, right? No, I'm kidding. Man. Barely makes any noise at all, but it has a nice little sound to it. Very similar to the Goldwing. These mirrors, look at this. At idle, absolutely buttery smooth. We haven't even got moving yet, and I can barely feel this machine is even there. It is a bit stout of a bike, but you know what? That's fine. There's a lot of engine right there. Let's go ahead and take off here. This is a hydraulic actuated clutch, so you're going to have, let's see, that friction zone, right? Actually around half. Actually very well done. That's not a bad thing there. Alrighty. Wow. So smooth. Climbing up on it, it feels so commanding. I mean, it just feels so much bigger than I actually truly am. Good night! So you're going to redline in first gear right around 42 miles an hour, but it spins up so fast there. Wow! That's incredible pull. Look at that up in top gear, fifth gear there. This thing is barely churning anything. 45 miles an hour, right around 2,000 RPMs. You rip it. Look at that jump. We're in top gear here. It should not be able to jump like that. Many motorcycles are bogged if you're 45 miles an hour in sixth gear. You need to drop a gear to give it a little bit more breathing room. This one just yanks and goes again. Wow. I'm already laughing. Man. This engine's got a lot of character to it. Golly. Dropped it down to 4th gear and get down to like 3. Let's do that again. 3, boom, and you're already up to 10 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and test these brakes. Wow. Big bike, big braking power. Oh man, that thing will stab those brakes. It's going to stop just fine. Man. Already some big smiles out of this machine. We just turned the corner. He's not having as much fun as I am. He's in a pickup. Anyway. Wow. I mean, it really is a big, big power cruiser, and you can feel it, but it is, whenever you go to turn it, that's when you don't feel it anymore. Being that you have actually a slightly forward of mid, 3 inches forward roughly of a regular mid-mount bike right there. You have a little bit different seating posture than you do on the Goldwing. The Goldwing is a little bit slightly further back. Not much, maybe about 1.5 inches or so. Wow, this thing. I know I need to find some straight or some turns, and all I got straight roads in Oklahoma, but you just barely tackled these handlebars. You barely do any pressing in any direction. This bike's ready to dive and go in that direction. I mean, it is so smooth at doing it too. There's no binding, no weight at all. It's exactly like the Goldwing in that, and it feels actually, of course, a little bit more live because you're not carrying the weight of the fairing and electronics and everything that's inside the Goldwing package. You're simply carrying a naked Goldwing. So you have all the power of the Goldwing, all the smoothness. Good golly, like accelerates so fast. But all the smoothness of a Goldwing in a package that you could go boulevard bashing with because you're not as big as a Goldwing. You're about as wide in the front, but other than that, the back end is much more narrow, so you can get into some different spots. This is a much lighter motorcycle. Does not come equipped with the reverse gearing as the Goldwing does. Engine braking, wow. Whoa. Yeah, I forgot shaft drive. Careful with engine braking, folks. Careful with engine braking. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. I'm going to let them get a little bit ahead so that way I can play with that turn over there. Secretly, the only way you can find turns is getting on an interstate. Alrighty. Let's go try it. Man. Oh, it turns in really well. Transitions really well, too. Peg grinding really fast. So comfortable bike. Whoa, wow. Already hitting 70. I haven't even... Not even trying. Not even trying. Wow. Oh, man. Oh, this ain't right. I love it, though. So we're at 70 miles an hour highway cruising speed, and you have 3,000 RPM on the clock there. Just very easily cruising. There is like no feeling of nastiness or gnarliness or bogging down or nothing. It is just so buttery smooth. Man. Now the suspension is not as soft as the Goldwing. I'm making note of that right now. I can actually feel the road below me. This is a broken concrete here and there. You can kind of hear it in my voice as I go over those joints. So I can actually definitely feel them, whereas the Goldwing would just go over those very, very easily and very plush. This one is definitely more sporting. You definitely feel the suspension. It's not as soft, but that does aid in this motorcycle's turning ability for such a large machine. Is it a soft suspension? Yes, very much so. But is it a softer suspension, like a soft touring? No. It is definitely more sporting than a Goldwing, but softer than some other power cruisers that I've been on. There you go. Family that rides together stays together right there, everybody. Keep your friends and family in the wind. man, it's just amazing how fast this bike, even in top gear, picks up speed. I mean, they don't really feel your speed because of how smooth this is. And of course, we're in Oklahoma, I already got an artificially high wind barometer, so I can't really tell as I'm going through how fast I'm going. So I keep dropping in speed because I'm just kind of, you know, just riding and enjoying it. But I definitely feel, like I said, in that suspension, the road below me. Now the seat is wide and plush and comfortable, and it does have a little bit of lumbar in it, so that way you don't slide completely off when you stamp on it. And I mean, when you go on it, it's good to have that little bit of support on the back, because it simply pulls away so quickly. It would throw you off the seat if you had a flat seat. But it's so approachable. It's such an easy to ride motorcycle despite the size of it and despite the heft of it. I mean, versus the Rocket 3. The Rocket 3 is a big power cruiser like this, much bigger engine. This is bringing a scalpel into a machete fight with that thing. That thing is gnarly, brutal, fun, and exciting, but this thing is a fine, precisioned instrument of speed. It is so much better at touring and everything than a Rocket 3 because of how much more smooth it is. And of course, you had the mid mounts, a little bit wider, almost partial floorboard for your peg as well, versus the smaller pegs on the big Rocket 3 Roadster. And that's what this is in direct competition with. But this bike has a lot of character to it in this engine. I mean, it's just because you're releasing a lot of weight from it, and it's giving it a little bit more opportunity to show off what it really is about. And it's about a lot of fun, that's darn sure. I wish you guys could hear it. It's so quiet, this motorcycle is. It doesn't really have too much noise, but when you start getting it up in RPM, you hear that straight six, or you hear that flat six just start to sing. All right. Let's go around the bend here. Now this is on the shaft side too, so the shaft is on the right. Ooh, ready. Nice. Yeah, switch that. Yeah, even with that being a huge bouncing ramp, got a lot of gravel right there. Got to keep that up right there. There we go. Wow. This thing is ridiculous in ways that cannot be described. This definitely crushes the highway just fine. It is a smooth motorcycle in power. It is a good riding machine. Like I said, the suspension not as soft as its big brother, the Goldwing, but it is buttery. I mean, when you have all the power in the world at the at the command of your right wrist, that's what it feels like. There's just so much power to this motorcycle. I mean, we're in this city interstate type traffic today, and it's a Saturday, but a little bit heavier traffic than normal. And I mean, I could start precision slicing right through it, because I just got all this power, all this passing ability. Even in top gear, you can just pull on it and it goes, and it will get out of the direction of itself, and even it has so much ability. Man. And the ergonomics on this bike are just so darn perfect, especially for somebody my size. I'm 6 foot tall, about 230 pounds or so. And the way my 32-inch inseam is and everything on this bike, my arms come straight down and straight out with fists in the wind, as you can see. Straight down, elbow straight. So that means I have a lot of pivoting power in my arms. They're not outstretched or anything. My legs come straight out and straight down, basically. It's like sitting on a big lounge chair. A very fast lounge chair. It just beckons to be ridden further and further and further. I mean, this is just a temporary test ride, but oh, I love it. Now, normally I would be getting off at 10th here, but since I kind of started on the highway, I'm going to go off and get into some traffic and stop and go and give you an impression on if this bike is great for in-town use. We can tell this bike is definitely a motorcycle that can handle the highway and just soak up some big miles. Not even taxing itself at all at highway speed, not even close. This bike's got so much more potential. It's just so easy to ride. And it turns so well, it's so stable. That's because it's so big. It weighs as much as the earth. Keeps its wheels planted on the ground firmly though. No wibbly wobbly suspension or anything to complain about. Just a nice rolling machine. Let that engine braking have a chance again, and it is great engine braking. If you use your engine braking. It's amazing how this engine is too. It can literally take so much in the transmission, the gearing. You can go all the way down in speed and not really need to change gears too much because it just has so much power to pull from every direction. It's just so easy to ride around. Let's try it out here in the middle of downtown Oklahoma City. We're over here on Reno and E.K. Gaylord, which is over by the Cox Convention Center, and just across the way from that is Chesapeake Energy Arena, which is where our local basketball team, the Thunder, play. This is that area where they are. This is just great to check out and see what it's like to ride in the city and use this as a deep inner city commuter, even though it's such a large motorcycle. Now, lane splitting, it might make a few of y'all uncomfortable if you're in an area that allows it. I mean, look at the comparison to size there. This is not going to fit through that hole there because our streets are probably a little bit more congested than your guys's, a little bit A little bit more narrow too. Well, not necessarily congested, but just more narrow. At a stop sign, it's perfect. I mean, it's so well balanced. It's so easy to sit there with one foot on the ground, one foot on the brake, so you still have your brake light active. It is a warm day today too. It's in the 80s. This big old flat six up here, I don't feel any heat coming off of it either. Even running it for a little bit, because I ran it out first to video the intro here, and then I ran it all the way here and got it plenty heated up, and I don't feel anything. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It is just a motorcycle you can live with every day. I mean, even coming up on every stoplight red. This is perfect. This is what happens in your daily commute. You're trying to beat every light and everything, and you come up and get stuck at every light instead. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. It's such a commanding presence on the road. You feel big, you look big. Just makes you feel like you're in a car, even though you're on this bike. It doesn't even have the bags of the fairing like the Goldwing does, and it still feels almost like a car. I'm a train. This bike is that describes the steering on this motorcycle for dang sure on rails. Such an easy to ride bike, such a big presence on the road, such a powerful motorcycle, and a big statement from Honda. And I'm sad that you just don't see very many Valkyries. I know they were made for a while, and I don't believe they're not made anymore. But this thing just makes such a presence, and it's such a good riding machine. And it's just so easy to deal with. This is a daily riding motorcycle. Despite, look at the size. Look at that. Look at, if you could see me in that reflection over there. Just look at this massive size, and it's just an awesome machine. It's such a great ride. Man, I am so excited I got to ride this Valkyrie. I mean, I love the Goldwing and all, but it's just simply, this bike is so much different and so much better because of the fact that it is, without all the extra weight and all that, but it is such a mightily powerful cruiser. It has got so much potency to offer. It's a great riding machine, and I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to ride a big, gnarly Honda power cruiser. So at any rate, welcome to Indian Motorcycles of Oklahoma City. And it's their Indian demo event, and I'm riding a Honda. What's wrong with me? Just kidding. I just didn't have the FTR out today, guys. It's all right. I got to ride a fantastic machine, the Honda Valkyrie. What a wonderful machine this was to ride. And like every time else, if you have any questions regarding the Honda Valkyrie, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to get those out there for you. And as always, keep that shiny side up, and we'll catch you on that next review.